Welcome, guys. Welcome to the Silver Rust podcast. It's been a while, but we're back. And Anthony's officially going to be my new co-host. So welcome him on, and we're excited about this. But yeah, it's been a couple weeks, so let's talk about some of the games. Right now it's about to be wild card weekend next weekend, so we're in the playoffs, and yeah, let's dive into it. What's up, Anthony?
What's up? I'm honored to be a part of the podcast full time now, and but yeah, awesome season so far. NFC North champs, first time I've ever
Mhm.
been able to say that. Yeah, I'm dying to get that hoodie.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, 12-5, first 12-win season since '91. Man, that's
Mhm.
crazy. Um, but yeah, whatever games you want to start with, we can go into. Just wanted to
Yeah,
highlight those two huge milestones.
I think the last game we talked about was the Chargers game. I don't remember if
Either
we.
that or like I think it was like the Saints game actually, or was it? I don't even
Yeah.
remember to be honest. It's been a minute.
Yeah. It's been a while. It was hard to get it back on here, but
Yeah.
holidays and stuff. But in our
Mm,
me and Anthony's schedules don't really align sometimes. But we're back. We're gonna try to give you some good content. And but yeah. So games that stood out to me after that Chargers game, because that was a good game. We came back. We won that game. It was a back and forth offensive battle. Um, and then we had a couple. The Bears game. I think that's the game we were previewing, or it was a Chargers game. I'm
yeah.
not sure, but the Bears game, the first one. We that's when we kind of started playing like shit for a few weeks. Played like kind of
Right. We got
crappy, and
lucky.
yeah, and then we just Bears end up really choking, and we just end up being clutch, and we came through. That
Right.
was exciting though. It just shows
It
you
was.
the Lions throughout the season, they've had adversity, and each time they had adversity, they answered. They didn't win every game, obviously, but they didn't let it break them either. Like that Chicago game, came back and won that game. But then you followed it up by that Thanksgiving game. You're like, oh, we got the Packers, we're going to win this game. And then the Packers, our problems were still bad. We're turning the ball over. Defense looked terrible. So the Packers, it took us being our worst of the season and one of it probably their best of the season to beat us by what was it, 5 or 6 points? But yeah. So
Yeah.
that was terrible.
That
And
game.
then
That game was probably one of my most frustrating games to watch.
yeah,
I mean, honestly, like even more frustrating than the Ravens game because that game was just from the get go there was nothing.
right.
This game is just like every time we'd catch a break, we'd either turn the ball over or just stall out.
Yep.
And Green Bay was just having their way with us too, and it was just like, what the heck? And I just
Yeah.
remember like that was on Thanksgiving too, and I just wanted the Thanksgiving win.
Yep. That's what I kept thinking.
Yeah,
Get that Thanksgiving win. But those 2 weeks were just like the same. I mean, there were 2 games in like 4 days. They were terrible. You had the turnovers, and then our defense not playing good, and then same thing happened in Green Bay game. Like we just kept turning the ball over, and I'm like, holy! Every time we would move the ball, we would get down there, get close, and then we'd turn it over, or our offense would stall out. I'm like, oh my goodness.
but
So those
but
are
let's look at the positives because like you look at all the other great teams in the NFC this year.
yep,
San Francisco had a losing streak, 3 games.
yep,
The Eagles, they are stumbling into the playoffs. We could have ended up like them.
yeah. See, that's
The
the thing.
Cowboys lost, 2 games uh, in a row
Yeah,
after beating Philly. And they've had their stretches too where they just looked like crap.
yep,
And, it's just a testament to our coaching staff that, like, we didn't let those 2 games define us. And we just kind of, like, bounced back and played Detroit football
yep.
the way we've been doing all season.
Yeah, I think those are good things like adversities to hit because then you bounce back because you look at after that Green Bay game, who did we have? We had was it Denver?
Um,
Y-
yeah, it was the Denver. That was that was, like, one of my favorite games of the season.
No,
Just
no, I
no
think it was the
mercy.
Saints. It was the Saints. We
Okay.
beat the Saints, and we had a
Yeah.
great lead, and then they start coming back, but we hold them off. That's a tough
Yeah.
place
Okay.
to
Yeah,
play
you're right.
though. And then
It is.
we played the Bears. The Bears beat us. We looked like shit.
Yeah.
They whooped our ass in Chicago. And then people were like, oh, I think the Lions are about to choke the division away. Oh, this to
Right.
that. And I'm like, no, we're not. We're not choking it away. This is different. And people are like, oh, they might go 1-3. Well, we should have went 4-0. We go on, we beat Denver. See, that's what I liked. We answered. We hit some bumps in the road like Dan Campbell said we would. And what happened? He's a great coach. He had his team. I mean, we didn't just answer. We whooped Denver's ass. Man, we
That's
cooked
what I
them.
said. That's one of my favorite games. Like, man, when people started doubting us,
Yeah.
like we just didn't let up. We showed no mercy. Like, here's
Yep.
who we are, and we buried them.
Yep.
And we just got back to playing Detroit football, and
Yep.
man, that was like the most exciting game because like it was a little worrisome. Like, man, like how is this team going to respond? Like, this is a tough 4-game stretch we got. Denver was at the time one of the hottest teams in the league.
Yep.
And then we had to go to play the Cowboys, and then 2 games against the Vikings, and that's a tough stretch for any team to handle.
Yeah, and it's crazy though if you look at it. This season, we never lost 2 games in a row. Not one time. We lost 1 game, and then we would win the next game. And that happened. Everybody kept saying, oh, they might lose 2 finally. Nope, it never happened. All year, we never lost 2 games in a row. That's impressive. That's real impressive. Yeah, we lost 2 out of 3, but never 2 in a row. And then, when we lost the Green Bay, then the Chicago. But then we came back, and we whooped Denver's ass, and then we went to Minnesota, won the NFC North Championship in Week 16. So that was awesome, and injuries happen, but there's no excuses. Look, we won the division by 4 games. So I don't care about no one's injuries or this or that. We won the division. We had our fair share. Yeah, we didn't lose a quarterback, and that's big. I get it, but it didn't change my going into the season. I said 12-5 NFC North champs.
Right.
So it didn't change my expectations just because of injuries happened. Because I expected this.
And it's like I don't even care about I know Kirk Cousins got injured and the Packers were starting a new quarterback, but you go on Twitter and half of these nuts thought the Bears were going to win it.
Yeah.
They didn't lose a quarterback all year. I don't want to hear it, man. Everybody wanted to find some reason why the Lions weren't going to win the NFC North this year.
Yeah.
And we did.
Yep.
Everybody here saw it, and there's some national people finally who saw it this year, and we proved them right. We proved all the haters wrong, and we got it done. 12 wins.
Yep. We went into Minnesota, got it done, and then we had that Dallas game. The Dallas game.
Yeah.
Bro.
The Dallas game.
We could have possibly had the number 1 seed, but I feel like the Niners would have played their starters if the number 1 seed, they would have, if the number 1 seed was on the line last week. But it was more about the 2 seed, kind of, getting that second playoff game, hopefully.
At that point, yes.
I mean, it's not really about the opponent, because Green Bay or Rams, you're playing one of the 2, but it was about kind of you get that second home playoff game if you get the number 2 seed and you win your first game, of course. And we had them. Everyone knows what happened. We had them. Got the 2-point. It worked. Then there's a flag saying Decker never reported eligible, when he clearly does. And Dan Skipper never even talks to the official. And the NFL tried to cover it up, but they were wrong. And we get screwed once again in Dallas. And I don't like using refs, as an excuse, but that's one of those cases where they took that game from us, and that killed us. I mean, man, I was so angry. It felt like the Dallas playoff game all over again.
I personally feel like this pissed me off just as much as that playoff game, probably a little bit more, because that game, we still had opportunities in the playoffs, that playoff game to come back and win.
Yeah.
And we shot ourselves in the foot a lot that game. Even though when we were up 14-0. But this game just pissed me off more because it was at the end. We got the play right. We did everything right. And I swear that penalty flag came in 45 seconds to a minute later.
Mm-hmm.
I'm jumping up and down. My wife, who is a Cowboys fan, when she saw the flag and realized what it was, she was, oh my God, I'm a Cowboys fan and I feel sorry for that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
And she's even saying that, she, now she's giving me crap that we lost her, but whatever.
Right.
We'll see them in the playoffs. That's just how I'm feeling right now. It's just whatever. We're pissed. You done fucked up, NFL, because now we're pissed.
Yep. And Dan Campbell, I've never seen him so pissed off. He was
whether he's talking to the media or who else,
or jumping on the radio and telling them, "Look, say what you got to say." he's
Right.
pissed off, and the team's pissed off. And then we get Minnesota, and honestly, like we were handling Minnesota, they fought back a little bit. They did, and Justin Jefferson's just literally unreal. But
Nick Mullins just prayers it up to Justin Jefferson and hopes he catches it. I swear,
JJ is literally one of the best receivers I've ever seen play. Like he's just insane. But so you give him credit. But after that Laporta injury, which that's what I was most worried about, the win or losing didn't really affect me this game.
Yeah.
Of course, you want to beat your rival and go 4-2 and get that 12th win, of course. But I was more concerned with the Laporta injury, which we have an update. Dan Campbell said that it's actually not as bad news as we thought. I was thinking ACL, but he's saying we'll know in 40. He has an outside shot to play actually this week, and we'll know in 48 hours, more about it. But they're talking about days for his healing, not weeks. So even if he doesn't play this week and we win, he might be back for the divisional round. So that's huge. Like, my big thing was, like, okay, if we lose him for the playoffs, that sucks. But I don't want to lose him for majority of next year, too. Miss all of training camp, all of preseason, some of the regular season. That's what I was worried about. But it looks like we avoided a big injury. And after that, kind of took our team. He took it out of our team. You could tell. They were like, oh, dang, it just took the air out of everybody. So, but we still end up handling business. We won what? 30-20?
Yeah, 30-20. It should have been more.
Yeah, we had
that interception return shouldn't have counted.
No,
or that was it a fumble or an interception return? Yeah, I think it was an interception return for a touchdown.
Yeah,
that should have counted. Yeah,
and,
of course.
Mullins had a bunch of yards, but like I said, he honestly, after that Laporta injury, you could tell affected the team, and he just like. There was some broken plays, he just threw it up. And I was like, bro. But we still got the win.
For the most part, I was not worried about that game at all.
Nah.
They never really made me feel pressured. That was my first Lions game of the season, and I've been at Lions games where it's close, and I just didn't feel the same way. I just felt like, nah, we got this. Like they're not scaring us every time. Like we're sacking them a lot this game. We're shutting them down. They could not run the ball on us at all.
Right.
And we were just moving the ball downfield with will. And, Minnesota's they have a better defense this year. And we just both games just literally ran the ball, passed the ball, just got the ball down the field whenever we wanted, pretty much, almost like without either. I swear Packers played us better. The Bears played us better than the Vikings because I was not worried about this game at all.
No.
I was worried about the first game because I just wanted the NFC North title so bad. I just wanted to get it done and over with. And I feel like the players, I know they said they weren't, they didn't care about that and whatnot, but like I have to imagine like towards the end, like it was like, slowly creeping into their minds, like, hey, we're this close. We just need to finish this game.
Yeah.
And because now that we got this, like, this game was it just didn't feel stressful at all.
No. And, it feels good. Finally get our first NFC North championship. And it doesn't feel like this is a one-off situation. This feels like this is only the beginning. And that's what's exciting is like the NFC North is going to get better. Chicago has a great opportunity this offseason. They kind of remind me of us last year. A lot of fans don't like their head coach. And obviously, a lot of Lions fans, we love Dan Campbell. I mean, when we were 1-7, there was some chatter, but for majority, everybody loves Dan Campbell, and especially now, especially after the second half of last year. But the Bears, they got better over the course of the year, and they have the number one pick because Carolina's so bad, and they have, I think, 9th. So 2 top 10 picks next year, including number 1 overall pick. They have some cap space, and so I'm so curious to see what they do. Do they keep Fields good around him and just trade the number 1 and get a haul again? Or do they get Caleb Williams and just build around him? And he's one of the best quarterback prospects in a while. So
you could trade Justin Fields. You could trade him because he's not going to want to be there and be a backup. You could trade him, at least get a second-round pick, maybe a high first-round pick if, one of those teams that made the playoffs, like maybe the Saints or the Falcons or someone like that. Or maybe even the Vikings if they move on from Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Any one of those teams could do it and trade him a late first round.
I definitely see some Atlanta stuff, and you keep hearing about Atlanta, so I think
Yeah.
because it's like they could trade their first most likely and get Justin Fields, and that would be a great deal for Chicago. Because I'm thinking probably second, like you. But if you that'd be a great deal for Chicago if they're going to go with Caleb, and then Atlanta instead of having because trying to trade up to the top 5 for Atlanta is going to be a lot more expensive than trading for Justin Fields, who might just
Yeah.
if you get the right coaching staff in there, you have weapons, you know. So I mean, they could really do some things. But like the RPO
And then
game
you
would
got
be
that rookie
insane with him and
quarterback
Bijan.
salary. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Um.
but yeah, I'm so curious to see what they do. But whatever way they go, if they end up trading the first and get a bunch of stuff and build around Fields, either way, they should be able to compete at least for the playoffs next year. You know, I mean,
Yes.
to me, their defense is a
They got
lot
a
better.
young. Yeah. They got a young defense. They got a good pass rush now that Sweat is there.
Yeah, they have a
Yep. And
good,
then their
great
running
corner.
game
They need to
is.
bring him back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they do.
they
I'll be
they could,
I'll be hoping that they don't though.
yeah, me too, honestly. But they should definitely be right there trying to push us. Um, if they mess this offseason up, they might. I don't know. Polls might not be it because that you can't mess it up.
You
But
can't.
the
And
tricky
that's why
thing
it's like
is the way Fields is talking is like he's gone, but the locker room loves him. So that's what we got to watch out for. Like,
fans. The
yeah,
fans want him too. They were
yeah.
chanting his name like we want
So
Fields or
yeah. So if you trade him, you might. You don't want to lose your locker room, but you might, and
yeah.
that's so risky. It's a weird situation.
Especially if Caleb doesn't start off hot. Like let's just say he has like a Bryce Young start.
Yeah.
Like, and it just it takes him a minute. Like,
Yeah.
it takes him to like week 6. It might be all gone after that. Who knows? Because, I know C.J. Stroud did what he did this season, but like that is still rare.
Oh yeah,
You
it's
had
super
Joe
rare.
Burrow come in, and that was rare, even though he got injured that year. But it was still rare the way he was playing.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Lawrence, it took him like a year and a half to figure it out.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting question because like even if they do, if they don't get Caleb, if Caleb flourishes and he's like a CJ Stroud or he is a top 5 quarterback like the next year after,
Yeah.
that gets you fired as a GM. That gets you absolutely fired.
Because you can't fault Poles for not getting Watson or Mahomes. He wasn't here, but he chose not to get CJ Stroud last year, and if he chooses not to get Caleb Williams and Caleb Williams becomes a star, I mean CJ Stroud already looks like a top 5 quarterback. Then you're like, oh, you're in some trouble because that means Fields is going to have to at least be a top 10 guy, or things aren't going to be looking so great for you. Because it can be done like. I mean, you don't have to have an elite. You don't have to have the best quarterback in football to win games. I mean, nobody was probably ever going to say golf is, especially talent-wise. But look,
I mean, look at Brock Purdy. I mean, yeah.
It can be done. It's just like line situation is different, though. It's like with Brock Purdy, he's on a rookie deal, so that's real nice. Where golf, he's not. He's getting paid good money.
7th round rookie deal.
Yeah, at that, bro. Yes. That's crazy. That's so cheap. Right. Bro.
I know that's why they're able to like do so much. That's why they were able to get Chase Young and whatnot. And it's just like
and free agency and all that. Yeah. Right. So I'm so curious to see but regardless what they do, they got to be able to compete for the playoffs at least next year and push us a little bit. And then you look at what Green Bay's doing. Love looks really good. Love looks really good. Looks like the next great Packers quarterback. But
I wouldn't say he's on that level, but he does look like a competent starter.
Yeah.
Who looks like like top 15, top 14 in the league already this season. Like let's say he gets better next year. That's top 12 to 10. And, I'm not saying he's going to be a top 5 or anything. Yes, I do too. He's young, he's mobile. Yeah. He can extend the plays, and he's got a nice touch to his throw too.
He does.
I mean, there was some throws where it's just like, wow, where was that? Because we just never seen it.
Yeah, there's some stuff like, so when he was coming out, I loved him before he even went to the Packers. And I heard Packers were interested in quarterback, and I told my brother, who's a Packers fan, like, bro, if you get Love, you'll like him in a few years. Let him develop. He's raw. Packers, they're really good at that. They don't throw raw quarterbacks just out there. They develop them. And there's some things Love can do. Like, I remember it was like some of the stuff with his footwork. Like, he was doing a drop back. In the middle of his drop back, he reset his feet because he saw the receiver over the Vikings. I think it was Vikings linebacker Hicks. I think Reed was the receiver. I'm not sure, but over the middle, he resets his feet in the middle of his drop back, and just flick of the wrist, and boom, it was beautiful. I'm like, that was some Rodgers shit, but yeah, I don't think he's Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. You gotta let him be his own guy, but he does have a lot of talent. He
Right.
looks good. So
Right. And speaking of Reed, I mean, their young receivers are nothing to be played with. I mean, they
yeah,
got Reed, they got Watson, they got Dobbs, and then they had some other guy. I can't remember his name,
Wicks or
but like I
whatever.
remember him.
He's
Yeah,
a
maybe
rookie.
it's him. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wicks. And then they got two young tight ends too. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I feel
They're
like they
super
just need to
young.
fix that off. Right, they need to fix that offensive line,
Mm,
and because their offensive line is old and aging, especially with Bakhtiari been in and out all season.
yep. They need to.
They need to fix. Yeah, they need to fix their line, and they need to get some more defensive pieces. And I feel like they're there.
Yeah. For me, get a new defensive coordinator. Improve maybe some safeties. I think that's a weakness on defense. And then
Yeah.
you need to find out who's your true number one for Love. Is that Watson? Is that Reed? Do you got to go get somebody? You figure that out this offseason, and you build that O line up. Because I'd rather have a great O line. I mean, that's how you win is in the trenches. And they do
Right.
that, they're gonna be pushing us too.
I know it
And
just sucks because like it just sucks. Like man, we only get like 1 year of like down NFC.
yeah,
Right, because they're going to be back. I mean, the Vikings are probably going to finish last next year. I doubt they keep Cousins.
if they keep Cousins, I think they're gonna be right there. See, the thing is, the NFC North hasn't been really good in a while, right? I think next year it's gonna start getting really good again. And of course, when we're
it
good,
could be the best.
that's gonna
And they could be the best in the league
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, but that's to me that's good. Everybody's like, "Oh, this sucks," but it kind of like to me it's good because if you play in the best division and you win that division, you're probably going to do good in the playoffs because you're used to playing hard, good ass teams. So like, look at the Ravens; they play in a hard ass division, and
yeah,
I'm sure they're Super Bowl favorites right now. So yeah,
makes you tougher.
it does. But
Because we're going to have a first place schedule next year too. Like we are. That's something to think about.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to face the Cowboys again. We're going to have to face
Bills,
the 49ers.
Niners.
Yep. Bucks.
We played the Niners whole division, but still.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we got Rams and all them, Seahawks and Cardinals.
Great.
Yeah, I know.
We got to face the Rams, Seahawks, and Cardinals.
We got to load. The schedule is loaded, but that's all right. So, what about the Pro Bowl?
What about the what? I couldn't hear you.
The Pro Bowl.
Oh, okay, the Pro Bowl? Yeah, no, it's crazy. We got 5 Pro Bowlers. I don't remember the last time we've had that many Pro Bowlers in a single like first team all like Pro Bowlers.
Yeah.
And not alternates or anything. Right. And Sewell, Ragnow, Laporta, Reeves Maben, and then Hutch, obviously, getting on there. Was just super exciting. Like most Lions fans, St. Brown got snubbed, in my opinion. He really did. I mean,
goodness.
I get it. Like, Puka, great season. But I think he should have been in over Evans. I really do. That's the one.
The only one that should have been over him, honestly, was CeeDee Lamb. Even AJ Brown, I know he got hurt, but look I think he had more receptions than AJ Brown. He had more yards, and I think he had more touchdowns or just straight under him. He had 112 catches?
No. It was
120 something.
It was 130. No, was it? I don't remember.
He's tied second with Tyreek Hill.
Are we looking up St. Brown or talking about CeeDee Lamb? Okay. I'm looking it up right now. Receptions. He has. It's not showing me. He's 119.
19? Okay.
119. Yeah,
119 catches. He had over 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns. Yep. And we're talking about he didn't make the Pro Bowl? That's crazy. So he was second in receptions, third in receiving yards, and I think he was some in the top 5 in touchdowns. I think he was 4th or 5th in touchdowns at 10. So it's like, and he had the most 100-yard games this season. He had 9. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then he was what, top 5 in yards per game too. So I mean, like, really? How did he not make the Pro Bowl?
That's
Well,
like
I know
I get
how,
it. The
but
NFC has great wide receivers, but JJ got injured most of this year, so
yeah,
I don't see how he didn't make it.
yeah.
I don't. You're not going to convince me that.
My 4 would have been Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, AJ Brown, and DJ Moore.
Puka. Oh, I would have put Puka in there.
Oh yeah, I liked Moore this season a little bit better, even though he
I just think Puka had 1,700 yards this year. Like, it's crazy.
I think he only had 14 or 15.
Was it? Man, okay.
Yeah, he was.
Maybe he had 17 touchdowns. Maybe I was thinking of his number. I don't know. But he had a crazy rookie year. That's why it's like, man, I'll put him in there. You know, he was Stafford's go-to, especially with Kupp being banged up this year, and took him a minute to come back.
Yeah,
and he's obviously regressing a little bit this year, but still,
he bought out.
Yeah, I had a feeling about him. Like when he got drafted to the Rams, I even drafted him in my dynasty league.
Yeah,
and man, it paid off. And I didn't think he was going to do this. I just thought he would be like what St. Brown was his first year, just like a reliable slot receiver, and that Stafford could go to. And I'm like, I did not expect that, but that's just Stafford, man. Stafford does that with receivers.
Yeah, he makes people better. I mean, literally, all the receivers ever play with break records that are worth something. Calvin, Cooper Kupp, Puka. Like, it's crazy, man. I mean, even old Anquan Bolden had 8 touchdowns with Stafford.
Right. I forgot about that. I always forget he was on our team for that year.
And Kenny Galladay, he had a couple 1,000-yard seasons with Stafford.
He got Galladay paid by the Giants. He got Galladay paid.
He did.
Because he never did anything else away from Stafford.
Nope. And Hutch had a great year. 101 pressures and 11.5 sacks. I remember people were like, oh, Kavion, he has all these sacks. He was ahead of Hutch. He had 7 more sacks than Hutch just a few weeks ago. And Hutch said, let me tie you. So, and the thing is, Walker had 10 sacks. All close in sacks, but everything else, Hutch blows him out the water. Pressures, hits, hurries, tackles for loss. They might be close to that, but Hutch has a lot of them.
He just pops off the screen more than those two guys. In my opinion,
consistent.
Yes, you know where he's at. You could see him spinning. You could see him doing all these plays and getting yes. Does he always hit home? No.
Yeah.
But neither does any of us on our team. That's what's frustrating. If he just had a one more guy on our team that besides McNeil, who had a good year, but he got injured, and he's just not as a defensive tackle. He's not as consistent as an opposite edge.
No,
is going to be, and that opposite edge could push towards the quarterback towards Hutch, and then he cleans it up. So it's just I don't want to hear about the stats. You could just tell by tape Hutch is better.
Oh yeah, he just affects the game, and even when he's not recording a stat, he's affecting the game. So my one buddy told me who's a Raiders fan. He's like, him and Max Crosby are a lot alike because they do that. They affect the game in other ways. And so yeah, Hutch is he's who we thought he is. I think if we can get him a better edge opposite, next year we'll see him with a lot more sacks, probably 15 and more. Just because
Braylon Trice.
What?
Braylon Trice.
I got to cheer against him tonight, but I would take him in Detroit 100%. I like him a lot. He's led, I think, the country in pressures the last 2 years. And I like guys. Yeah. To me, I like guys that can get. If you get constant pressure, I know you're a good pass rusher. Where sacks are hard, you can't predict sacks. They're hard to come by. Yeah. So and they can be random. So they're not the thing I measured edges by is pressure. If you constantly get pressure, you're gonna get sacks, and that shows me you're truly good at affecting the game. Not just getting a sack here or there, affecting the game. You're affecting the game every snap. So that's what I want to see. So yeah, if you got him and Hutch, I guarantee you Hutch would have a lot more sacks. So he had a great year. Obviously, Sewell had a great year. I think we both think he's all pro. So
all pro. And then Ragnow, I feel like Jason Kelce is going to get all the love because it's his last season. Yeah, and it's his last season, and it's
I think Ragnow
he deserves to be up there. I do too.
I think he's the best center in football, but
Yes. No,
If he
this
doesn't make
team
it,
is so much different without him on the field.
yeah. Oh
Like
yeah.
we are not a good run team. Our pressure rate is through the roof on our line, containing pressure
Yeah.
is through the roof when he's not on our team. He just completes that offensive line.
Yeah.
I think like
Well,
he is the glue that keeps it together.
yeah. If he doesn't get first team, hopefully he gets second team.
Exactly.
So
There's no way he's not top 2 center in the league.
yeah. And then yeah. We're in the playoffs with a third seed
Mhm.
facing the LA Rams, bro. 6th seed coming to Detroit.
Yeah.
Stafford and Ford Field and the Lions all get to share that moment together. First playoff game for Ford Field, and the Lions will be there. Stafford will be there. We always thought that, but once a couple years ago we parted ways. We never thought that, and we're all going to get to share that moment, which is awesome. I loved Stafford, my favorite player all the time. So it's bittersweet. It's like, man, watched him grow up there, in Detroit, and
Yeah.
now he got to come here and he's going to try to break our hearts. And I know he don't want to, but he has to. But we're not going to let him.
Yeah.
We're going to have to break his. So it's bittersweet. It's bittersweet for sure. I'm like, man, this is crazy. But just don't give him the ball last. Don't give him the ball last, and we will win this football game.
Please. This is
Right.
the one team I did not want to face in
Yeah.
the first round.
We just know
To
who
be honest,
Stafford
like-
is.
Yep, it's that, and it's their team is just their team is good against what we're not good at,
Yeah.
and their defensive tackles, Aaron Donald and Kobe Turner, are really good this season, and our guards are bottom 3 at containing pressure this season.
Yeah.
And that's what scares me. They have they're like top 3 at generating pressure between those two combined, and it's hard. And their wide receivers scare me.
Yeah.
Stafford scares me. We just let 400 yards to Mullins. That scares me with Stafford. And it's like, I know they're 2 different styles, and I know whatever, but still I know who Stafford is. I know what he can do. He just won a Super Bowl 2 years ago. I'm not thrilled about playing him. Take away if he was just take away the player, the name. If I just seen this player coming to town, I would not want to face them right now.
No, it's.
But then
we're gonna have to be ready. We're gonna have to be ready, and Dan Campbell will have them ready because he knows they could easily come in here and beat us if we're not on our A game. But you got to try. The defense has to play the lights out. We have pretty much everybody back defensively. Maybe not James Houston, but that's okay. You got to make Stafford feel uncomfortable. You got to pressure him all day. If you can just get hit after hit on him, like what the Vikings did. Obviously, we don't have that kind of D line, but years ago, Vikings just wouldn't even let Stafford breathe. He kept getting hit, and he couldn't do anything because you can't if you're getting smacked all day. So that's what we need to do. Their O-line's better than it was last year, but our D-line needs to take advantage. McNeil's there, Hutch. I want them to have generational games and just make him feel uncomfortable. And secondary is going to play the lights out, man. Because I like the matchup with one of our nickels, whether it's CJ or whether it's Branch versus Cooper Kupp, actually. I know Cooper's still pretty good, but I still think that's a solid matchup. He can win some, of course, because Cooper Kupp, but Puka's going to be the one you're like, okay. If Cam's against him, he's going to have to play lights out or double him. If Cam's not, Cam's been up and down the last few weeks.
Just contain him. You don't have to fully just contain him enough. That's all you have to do is just make sure he doesn't have a monster game. He can have 100 yards and a touchdown. I don't want no 200 plus yards, 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns. Right. We don't need that. I don't want no 17 receptions and whatnot.
My thing is, don't let them have any big plays. Okay, they're going to win some, sure. But I don't want to see I want Cam to answer the call. He had some rough ones against Lamb and JJ, but given the receivers, I'm not too mad about it, especially because we need to have a little bit better pressure. I'm sure that would help him a lot. But I certainly trust Cam more than any of our other corners, and I just think it's going to take a team effort, team defense to, these guys they're gonna make plays, they're gonna score, but if you could just hold them, a lot of areas, force field goals, and don't let them run loose. Williams is a monster. Don't let him run loose. Our run defense has been really good. Make them pass the ball, and yeah, you still got Stafford to worry about, but we have an offense. We have one of the best, if not the best, offense in the league. I'm confident in saying that. Our O-line's elite. We have a great run game. We have weapons. We have receivers. So, I hope Laporta plays, but if he doesn't, I want to see Jameson go off. Absolutely off.
JMO needs to.
I don't. He needs. Their corners don't scare me. You know what I mean? Their corners.
No.
We can win those matchups for sure. So
right.
I do like
and they don't got Bobby Wagner this season. So
you said what?
They don't have Bobby Wagner this season either. So
no. So I like their D line is. I like some of the young guys, but and like you said, our guard's going to play. That's the one area I'm looking at because I like pretty much every other matchup for us, offensive versus their defense.
Yes.
But obviously, Aaron Donald's going to be tough. Hopefully, Ragnow gets to face him mostly. That would be nice. But that's our best shot. But then, our guards are going to have to really just the O-line's going to play together because, like you said, that's not the best matchup for us. But just come ready. No turnovers.
Aaron Glenn's going to have his best scheme and just get these guys so ready because if we win this game, I have such a good feeling about the rest of the postseason. If we just win this one game.
I even think if we win this game, I think Green Bay might upset Dallas, and we might be playing Philly or the Bucs in Detroit for our second playoff game.
Really?
Yeah, I have a feeling.
You think Dallas is going to get upset?
I think they might get upset, bro.
I can see it because, my wife's going to hate me for saying this, but yes, the Dallas playoff choke thing is a thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like they're just a different team at home this season. There is something weird about that. And this is a young, inexperienced Green Bay team going in the playoffs. They didn't make it last year.
Dallas should definitely win, but
yes, I don't know if I'm going to be that optimistic like you are. I just have a good feeling that it's going to be us versus Dallas, and then we get our revenge against them in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
And it's I honestly think there ain't no way they beat us twice.
There's not.
That's the thing.
Either way, I'm cool with. Going there, staying home, just win this game. Win this game against the Rams. It's going to be tough. Right. This is going to be a stressful game. Obviously, it is. We haven't. This would be our first playoff win in like 30 years. So, just take care of business. You can't turn the ball over. Do not play sloppy. Play your game. Run the ball. Usually, you get Saint involved early. So don't get too cute at times. Just do what we majority of the time do, and you put up points. And then defensively, just don't try to let them destroy you every play. Like they're gonna beat you a player here, a player there. They're gonna score points. They are. Yeah. But just no stupid stuff.
Yep. And the only thing that worries me, another thing that worries me, is kicking. I hope that does not bite us. Yeah, it does not bite us in the butt. It's we missed that extra point yesterday.
I don't know what's his problem.
It's just I just got I was like, with the playoffs coming up, that better not bite us in the butt. I don't want no Chicago double doink thing happening where we need.
I'll be devastated.
Right. That's right. So it's like, man, please just hopefully we don't need to use a kicker to win the game.
Man, yeah, that's what I'm hoping too. Hopefully it comes down to basically. See, I don't want them to have the ball last, so hopefully we score a touchdown that puts us up by 2 scores late in the game or something.
Like 10 points or something. Yeah.
Something like that. But I have a feeling it's going to be a real close one.
Me too.
But I have faith in our boys. Look, Dan Campbell's going to have them ready.
I did too. I'm not saying I don't think we're going to lose this game. It's just this is the one team I did not want to face.
No,
I have so much better
wild card matchup. I'm like, we have the highest percentage chance of losing this game.
Yep.
But so but my thing is just take. You can't be like, oh, Rams ain't not knowing. But Dan Campbell knows. He knows what kind of quarterback Stafford is and what kind of team. They got hot at the right time. On the opposite side of that, like the Eagles, they did not get hot at the right time. The Eagles are probably going to lose first round or second because they just falling apart, and that's what you don't want to have.
I can see them losing to the Bucs.
Yeah,
I can see them losing to the Bucs.
Exactly. You don't want to have that in December ball, which the Lions haven't. Lions have been really good. They almost went 4-0 in December. Or that's the last. I don't remember. Was that our last loss before Dallas? So the Bears, right? Was that in?
Yes.
Was that in
That could have
November or
been.
December?
I
Oh
think
no, it
might
was
have been
December.
early
It was the
December.
first week in December. So
yeah, I was gonna say it was the first week of December. That's what I
we
thought.
lost 2 games in December, but the last 5 weeks we won 3 out of 5. Still really good. And just win. That's all I gotta say is beat the Rams and get to the second round. Get that first playoff win off our back. You know what I mean? Once you get that first one off,
please, the season will be a success no matter how it finishes. If we get
100%.
those 2 big monkeys
100%.
off our back, and we just go in the next year with so much momentum.
Yep.
Obviously, I want the NFC title. Obviously, I want to go to the Super Bowl, and I'm confident in saying if we get past this Rams team, I'm talking Super Bowl. I don't care.
Yeah.
I like us against Dallas. We just proved we can play against Dallas. I like us against San Francisco.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong; they are a machine over there. But I don't know, that Ravens game, man, kind of got me like, ooh, maybe we can do a little bit of something like that. Just get Brock Purdy like uncomfortable, and their team kind of falls apart.
Yeah.
And it's just like I like us 60 minutes against them. I don't feel like we're gonna get blown out.
No, and we met the matchup. I've had Niners fans tell me they're most worried about us because we have a lot of weapons over here, and they don't match. It'll be a fun matchup because we got guys that can do what they can do too. So, obviously Laporta, and you got Jammo, he's coming along. You got Saint, you got our running back duel, like best in the league. You got this elite offensive
running back
line.
duo. Yep.
And Jared Goff's been playing really great ball. Yeah. He's had a few bad games, so like anybody, but when he's on his game,
4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns.
Yeah. Only what, 12 interceptions? That's not too bad.
Yeah.
And he was top 10 in completion percentage and top 10 in passer rating. So, the other 2 he was top 5 in. So I mean, those pretty good numbers.
He was PFF's number 1 quarterback for most of the season. I mean, until like that Packers, Bears, Saints trio. And I think that's when he started to slide down. But like he was PFF's number 1 quarterback for most of the year this year.
Yeah, Jared Goff. Goff's been playing good
that's
ball.
Just right. And he knows this offense. He knows how to play in this offense. He's comfortable. He's confident. I'm not worried.
That's one thing we don't. Everybody's talking about Stafford coming home to Detroit, and I love Staff. Like I said, I've already told how much I love Stafford, and that's true. He's coming here, and it's gonna be cool. Get to share that moment. But once kickoff happens, we're gonna try to whoop his ass. But everybody's talking about, some people have said even revenge for Stafford. It's not even close to revenge for Stafford. He wanted out, and it was the Lions and Stafford have a good relationship. We're like,
I think it's revenge for Goff.
Yeah, we were like, okay, we'll trade you. There's no hard feelings either side. Love for each side.
Right.
But Goff didn't even know they were trying to get another quarterback. He didn't even know he was going to get traded. And then they just threw him away. And they didn't just trade him. They threw him away. They said, we'll give you a couple first, but do you want Goff too? They just threw him away.
Right.
And
he was just added on.
Yeah. Just take him. We don't want him. They threw him away. Goff didn't even know. He felt betrayed. And he gets to go against McVay. McVay has said it. Him and what's the GM's name? Les
Brett Holmes. No, Les Snead. Yeah,
Les Snead.
Yeah,
McVay and Les Snead both said that they handled it wrong because they didn't really let him know what was going on, and they admitted they handled it wrong. They did him dirty. That's what happened, and this could be his revenge game. I think Goff's about to go crazy against the Rams, bro. Crazy. He's gonna be like, "Oh, you guys gonna do me like that? I'm about to kick you out the playoffs."
Watch what I learned here.
Yeah, this is gonna be beautiful.
You ain't never seen anything like this.
It's gonna be like that ex-girlfriend, and you have a woman that is 10 times better. You married, and you're like, look at her, look at me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I can't wait, bro. I cannot wait. Because Stafford,
I honestly think it's gonna be like 35-28, something like that.
There's a lot of love with us and Staff. It's gonna be emotional, but with Goff, I don't think I'm sure he loves and appreciates his time, but I know deep down he won't say it. I know deep down he's like, I want to kick their ass so bad.
Right.
So,
Right. I mean, but you
but
got to think like there ain't a lot of people on that Rams team that are on there when Goff was there. You
yeah,
know, that's a completely new team. I mean, yeah, Cup's there and
yeah,
Donald's there, but that's about it. That's
yeah,
like about it.
yeah.
You know that Rams team is not the same as when Goff was there.
Nope. And I can't wait to see it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But I do think we win. You want to give some predictions? I heard you say some, but
Yeah, I'm thinking 35-28 or 35-31.
yeah.
I can see something like that.
Okay.
Lions, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah, I'm thinking it's gonna be close like that, but I'm leaning towards like 31-28. And I think
Okay.
we're gonna have to have a field goal to win it, so our kicker better not miss. Or I think it's gonna be like
Please
tied and we
stop.
get ball last and Goff
Yeah.
drives down the field and we kick a game winning field goal. He better not miss
Either
though.
that or just like we have the ball last and like we just run that clock out and
Oh yeah.
we go for it on fourth down, we get it and
Oh
that
yeah, we
seals
could
the
be up
win.
something like that. You could be up a couple
Yeah, something
points,
like that. Yep.
and then we just I like that too. I could see that happen. Just get us the ball last, and hopefully we have the lead or we have a shot at it, and we finish it, But I think we win. I think the Lions win, and we get our first playoff win in 30 years.
Yep. I do too. And it'll be so amazing. Like I'll probably shed tears to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I got kind of emotional listening to like those videos after that the Lions released after we won the North, and it kind of got to me like, man, I've never seen this before. Like, I've never been this excited about a Lions team. I've never experienced this much winning in
Yeah.
one season.
Right.
And it's just in general, like I'm excited. I'm going to be nervous for this playoff game. I haven't been
Man.
nervous for the playoff game since that Dallas game because the Seattle game, we kind of limped into the playoffs, and I just had no faith in us that game at all.
No.
And we didn't even score a touchdown. There was like no reason for I watched it obviously, but I just never was optimistic at all.
No, that game we shouldn't have been in playoffs that year. Ironically, Stafford actually carried us, But yeah, so
on his back, he carried us on his back. That was
a bad Lions team. That was a team. Yeah. If it wasn't for Stafford, we would have been picking top 5.
I mean, yeah, that was the team. That was the year where we had the record-setting fourth quarter comebacks, and we still finished 9-7.
Yep.
We limped. We limped, and just
8 comeback wins out of 9 games that we won, like crazy.
Yep.
And that's not really good overall team ball. Good ball by staff, but not by the whole team. So, but yeah, I think the Lions win, and we get our first playoff win in 30 years, and we send Stafford home.
Down to divisional.
And then we'll be on to the divisional round. Yeah. But you got anything else?
Just after the season, check out our channel. We're going to be talking about the draft, and we're going to be talking about plenty of other things. So, just keep us in mind when you're choosing a podcast because we got a lot of things coming.
Yep, a lot of good things me and him are talking about. Once we get on a similar schedule, we'll be able to put out more content, and that's our goal.
Oh yeah, a lot more.
So we're excited about that. But want to get this thing booming. So yeah, tell anybody that loves sports, listen to this, and go Lions. One pride,
Go Lions, baby. Beat the Rams.